chime in on that. I would like to try to understand why would you initiate a groundbreaking which actually signals the start of construction when you have a full set of architectural plans at a concept phase. And I will also, I mean, some of us are familiar with the numbers. So we know that the full architectural plan costs 50 million. 50 million. Slow down.
All right, guys, all right.
Slow down,
guys, hold on.
Slow down. This is not a communist outfit. This is not a communist outfit. This is the United States of America, where the First Amendment reigns supreme.
All right, guys, all right.
Have a little respect for your Prime Minister.
All right, guys.
Have a little respect for your Prime Minister. Please. Slow down, cowboys and cowgirls. Have a little respect for your Prime Minister. Don't be disgraceful. Please.
All right, guys, thank you. Please, he's entitled to ask the question, so let him finish and then we'll respond to the question.
As I was saying before, I was rudely interrupted. Okay, so wait, again, as I have said, this is not a communist outfit.
Sir.
This is the United States of America.
Hello, sir.
I'm happy to answer.
All right.
Thank you.
Let's continue directing the question to the panel, please. Thank you.
Again, to the panel.
Right. So, thank you.
I have the second part to the question. That we noticed that $22 million was expended so far. Some of us are very familiar with the numbers on this project. So we know that a full architectural plan costs about 50 million, but you've expended 22 million thus far. So we're trying to, we would like you to explain what that 22 million was expended on. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Okay, so thank you.
All right, guys, all right. Guys, thank you. We need to answer the question. Go ahead.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, I thank you for the question. I am going to take the first one, which is groundbreaking. Absolutely, we have a lot more work to do. We are still in the process of creating designs, but we also have a very aggressive timeline to work on. And so there are going to be several work streams that have to continue simultaneously. We have sufficient plans to allow us to begin doing early works. And in that regard, we are beginning and have already begun construction, the early works, the site prep, the utilities preparation, significant excavation. All of this work has to be done before we get to main construction works. And all of this work is underway. And so we thought a groundbreaking ceremony made sense to make sure the transparency to the people of Grenada that work on the site has begun. As regards to the question of the money spent, we are building a large, sophisticated infrastructural plan. A lot of plans have to go into that. A lot of experts, consultants, partners have to come with us to be able to put together the necessary plans before we can put a shovel in the ground for implementation. We certainly can't just start building bricks without sufficient plans to do so. And so indeed, a lot of time and resources have already gone into what's necessary to put together the right plan to ensure that we have the right product for the people of Grenada.
So I also want to just make a comment because I think this is important for us to understand. All of the spending, Grenada has perhaps one of the most transparent public finance accounting systems in the world. And it's always good to get comments and questions, and I think my takeaway from this is, particularly for the team at the Ministry of Finance, we will in fact detail the spend, what the spend is about, where it's been spent, so that we understand how the funding is going and which aspects relate to, in a sense, direct construction related costs, which aspects relate to finance costs, etc. So you have a clear sense of how the spend is taking place. So that's a takeaway from me. and the team at the Ministry of Finance and the Project Polaris team so that we can address the specific finance questions that would be asked. The final point I want to make about the groundbreaking. The groundbreaking ultimately is, and I want to say this importantly in a political context. One of the challenges, I think, as someone who's come into office new, that I think the public has had with government is a question of trust. And a question oftentimes of, I'll use the Grenadian word, mamagism. We want to make sure, Project Polaris is a national project that transcends government, that transcends the opposition, and has to be, from our perspective, and I said this in my presentation, there is no turning back on this project. Now, we could have taken the decision to have the groundbreaking a lot later in the year, but I know what that would lead to. It would lead to those naysayers thinking this is a political gimmick because we are closer to the elections, right? This is not a gimmick, and I've made that clear. We bought this land within the first year and a half of us getting into government. We didn't borrow any money to it. We financed it ourselves in collaboration with the vendor of the land. The land was available for purchase almost 12 years before, and we didn't do so. So it's important to emphasize that while in a classic sense, if it's a house or a small project, you'd probably break ground and then immediately after all of the heavy equipment and so on will roll in. This is a far more sophisticated project that has, as I said, national implications for ensuring that we can continue to get the support. And I'm going to emphasize this. When you're a small developing nation, that's the truth. People doubt the country's ability to take on and deliver transformative projects like this. And we have an obligation to, in fact, ensure that we make it clear to our partners and to the public that we are serious about this and that we are going to get it and that we will get it done. So this is also part of why, thank you guys, it's also part of why we have kept this unrelenting pace up, because projects like this take 10 to 15 years. We are clear that we want to accomplish it in a much shorter time frame. Thank you.